something that I just can't get over. One, I've already talked about in my previous videos how I was going to take a step back from Call of Duty, and I've done that. I've definitely have been playing the game a lot less. I'm serious, and I'm not kidding when I say this. I literally had a dream last night about Warzone, and it was about Rebirth Island, but it was with a twist. It was like a different game mode. It was like real life, and it was all about looting, and some of the buildings were missing. Not all the buildings in Rebirth were there. I think the prison was there and like a handful of other buildings. It was like a more watered down version of the map. I don't know why I had this dream, but I was playing today, and I was just playing some matches, and of course you have to deal with SBMM and EOMM. There's just no getting away from it. If you are a decent player, there's just no getting away from SBMM. It's gonna punish you. You're gonna be in lobbies with guys that are shooting you back. All types of things are gonna happen to you in these lobbies, especially if you're dropping control. So the whole reason for dropping control isn't because like I think I'm like really good at the game. I'm dropping control because I know that there's going to be a lot of chances at engagement. You know, get into a rhythm basically. I'm forcing myself to get into gunfights. Now I know in Warzone, especially dropping Rebirth Island, control, like a lot of dumb stuff is just going to happen to you. It's bad luck. Now, I play solos, and I was thinking about this, and the reason that I even want to be good at Call of Duty, one, it's just like, I guess it's just that challenge of doing something that you can't do yet. But then two, I watch these streamers. I watch these guys that have ridiculous high KDs, and I was kind of going down this rabbit hole, and the whole reason I went down the rabbit hole is I was thinking to myself, like, how do these guys have like 9 KDs? You watch their streams or you watch their highlights in the games that they post to YouTube, and a lot of times they're not even getting shot back at. Like, they're just rolling over teams. They're able to plate back up just in enough time. They're able to reload in just enough time. They're always in the right place at the right time, the right moment, the right position. They rotate at the perfect time. All these different elements, all these things that you have to do to be good at Warzone, not only just solos, but they are solo quadding. So they are taking on 4 stacks by themselves. And I started going down this rabbit hole, and there's this thing called 2 boxing. And then there's 3 boxing, where they use different accounts and then they reverse boost into really easy lobbies. Like, I never heard of this before until today. Like, I started researching it this morning, and I was just like, how is it possible to have such a high KD? I know these guys are solo quadding, so they have a chance to get more kills, but how can you consistently, a lot of these guys are consistently dropping 30 bombs. You're going to have a lot of Call of Duty Warzone fanboys that are going to jump to the defense of these guys and say it's absolutely possible, they're just really good and you just really suck. I've played enough Warzone to know, like, a lot of luck is involved. If you just hop in and play and you're just trying to play the game and get some kills and put a good game together, get a win, a lot of the times you're going to get shot in the back. Something I've noticed is, like, you just don't hear people even when they're right next to you. They hear you perfectly fine. I do have the game volume turned down, but I counter that with just turning my headphones up. And the reason I have the game volume turned down is I do YouTube. Your voice isn't drowned out by gunshots. And I went down this rabbit hole. There is a lot of argument about how, like, a lot of these streamers are 2 boxing and 3 boxing, and then a lot of them are saying, look, if you think these guys are able to consistently drop 30 and 50 bombs without cheating, you're crazy. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that they're cheating because I don't have proof that they're cheating. Clips and shorts of guys that they're talking trash to a 4 stack and they're soloing a 4 stack and they're not missing shots. They're shooting from the hip, not missing shots. They know exactly where everybody's at. People are going down and smoke is popping, and they're still able to just laser beam dudes. And it's really odd. With Warzone, there's a lot going on. You want to talk about activating the senses. That's exactly what's happening when you're playing Warzone. If you're soloing 4 stacks, how do you even have the brain power to focus on where everybody's at, land all your shots, and talk shit at the same time? I can't even think straight when there's 2 dudes I gotta deal with in solos, let alone a 4 stack of guys that are probably communicating. They're a team, and they're communicating back and forth on how to beat you. Like, I've seen a lot of clips where guys, he knows exactly where they are at all times based on, like, what you hear. You can hear them in the gameplay and he knows exactly where they are. Where a lot of times when I can't tell if somebody's up or down or if somebody's right next to me. Sometimes somebody will be right on top of me and I didn't even hear them. Now, I've talked about in previous videos how I was going to take a step back from Call of Duty because I'm tired of like my blood pressure going up playing Warzone, because that's what happens, especially like when you get into the top 10, it starts to get really tense. If you're a casual player, don't ever feel bad for losing. Don't ever feel bad that you didn't win that match. I know it sucks. I know you hate it, but don't ever feel bad. Do not waste your energy being upset with this game. It's designed this way for a reason. The way you feel is designed to get you to come back and keep chasing that feeling of greatness. You know, you get a win, you'll play another 15, 20 matches of going 0-2. Effects when I get into gunfights with certain people and I'll get rolled over by the same guy like 3 or 4 times in a row. There's just no escaping EOMM. If you are a decent player, you're gonna get smacked in the face with skill-based matchmaking. It's gonna do it. You're going to get into sweaty lobbies where people are shooting at you. They're shooting back. Dude, real lobbies aren't like the streamers. They're not like the guys that are dropping 30, 50 bombs. They're not. They're 2-stacking, sometimes 3-stacking, using different accounts so they can reverse boost into shitty lobbies. And a lot of them are doing this and using cheats. When you're playing in solo quads, when you shoot somebody, if you down them, the position of everybody else on that team shows up on the mini-map. And don't get me wrong, that is an advantage, just like if you're using UAV. You have all these different things happening. You have all these different senses firing off in your brain. You can't be looking over in the corner constantly trying to see where everybody's at. And a lot of times, like these streamers, you could see them looking over in the corner. It's like, how can you focus on your little mini-map, your little HUD in the corner, and still take everybody down and know exactly where they're positioned? If I look over, sometimes I don't catch if they're up or down. I just I get a glance at where their general position is at. A UAV isn't a surefire way to win gunfights and engagements. This is where this person's at. You could probably catch them off guard. And that's what I typically hope for is catching people off guard. And a lot of good games that I put together is a lot of that. It's just like I've caught a lot of dudes off guard and I've been able to put myself in a position to be in the top 5 and then I win. But it's rare. There is definitely some fishy stuff going on behind the scenes, behind the curtains, the mechanics of the game. Tac sprint, constant issue. And I don't know why. I don't know why this is such a problem, but tac sprint in certain situations just does not work. I'll get shot at. You have these movement penalties when you're getting shot. If I'm getting shot at, give me a chance to get out of that situation. Penalize my movement. The whole point of this video is kind of talk about the reality versus your expectation. If you're expecting, hey, you want to go from being a good player to a great player. Don't be upset if you're not able to cross that threshold, because the reality is the game isn't designed for you to do that. There is a lot of truth in really high skilled players and these guys that you watch on YouTube getting favorable lobbies. These guys are moneymakers for Call of Duty. Activision knows this. Some stupid, gross ass shit. Don't feel bad and be a good player and it doesn't happen. Look, it's just a game. Like, I get upset when I don't win as well. Like, I was playing today and I was just like, bro, I cannot put a game together. Let's see how many games I played today. Just the games that I recorded. I have 4 games recorded. First game I went 5-4. The next game I went 10-6. Like, I got a good run and then like stupid shit happened. It was like really pissed me off. And then I chased it. I chased that good game, went 4-4, and then it got even worse, went 3-8. You know, you'll get into situations where you'll drop back in and every loot box you run into is a sniper, a shotgun, and it's like, how am I supposed to win? Like, how am I supposed to put myself in a position to win if the game is going to play against me? These guys that play the game, I get it, they play a lot, they put a lot of time in. Just some of the plays that they make is like, there's just no way they're not using some type of like soft hacks to get an edge on top of 2-boxing and 3-boxing, using different accounts to, you know, reverse boost and get into lobbies where they're just shooting little Timmies with no thumbs. Guys, I just kind of went on a rant here. That's going to do it for this video. If you guys liked it, hit the thumbs up for me. Talk shit down in the comments. Until the next one, I'm out of here.